Hi everybody, welcome to another video lesson. Today we're going to be talking all about teamwork and group success. It's time to get health smart. Let's start by talking about what kind of teams you're on. A lot of times we think about our teams as just being sports teams or academic teams, but throughout our life, we're in lots of different teams. Maybe it's your family, a social group, church activity. Take a moment to pause the video and discuss what types of teams you're on. So now that we've discussed the teams you're on, what makes a good team? What are some of the qualities that you look for in your specific teammates? Pause the video now for discussion. Some of the things that I like to think of and suggest to people that make a quality team begin with communication. Communication has to do with listening as well as speaking. So when it comes to listening, make sure you're listening more than you speak. Provide your people with focused attention and really be a mirror for the conversation so that you understand what they're saying and we're not thinking about our own thoughts and feelings while we're supposed to be listening to the other person. When it comes to speaking, we always want to be clear. So we want to say exactly what we mean in a really clear way so that people understand what we're trying to tell them. Balance your aggressive and passive communication. When discussing aggressive and passive communication, if we're too aggressive and we come on too strong in a conversation, people might not feel comfortable communicating with us. If we're too passive and we don't really give much input to the team, that can also hurt us in our communication skills. So we really want to find a balance between that passive and aggressive communication. Pay attention to your body language. We can actually say a whole lot without even speaking any words at all. So if your arms are crossed, or maybe you have your head turned to the side and you're not really giving someone their full attention, it can show that you're not really listening to what they're saying. Make sure that we're always communicating with I statements. I feel like it's important for us to work on this part of the task before we move on to the next part. So communicating with I statements allows us to take responsibility for our own thoughts and feelings instead of putting our thoughts and feelings on the person that we're speaking to. Ask questions. When you don't understand what someone's trying to tell you, ask them follow-up questions. Always best to talk in person. Sometimes when we're communicating via text or email, it can become a little bit fuzzy because we don't necessarily know what the person's trying to say, right? We can't read their tone when we're having that discussion, when we're not face to face. So take a moment to talk in person. And of course, always when it comes to communication, think before you speak. Thinking before you speak is so important so that we don't say something that we might regret a little bit later. Respect. When we have respect on our teams, it brings feelings of trust, safety, and well-being. We know that we're accepted. We know that our opinions value. So it's really important to acknowledge what every member of the group brings to your specific team. We have to value everybody's input while also respecting individual differences. So we don't have to agree with what every person says, but we do need to understand that their thoughts and feelings matter and allow us to show respect for that person. Make decisions based on what's right, not on who you like. So when we're participating in team activities or we're engaging teams, whether it's our sports teams, our families, some kind of social group activity, it's important for us to really make a decision when it comes to teamwork as far as what's right in that scenario. So a lot of times as a teacher, I'll need to make decisions on what's right for the students, but it might not necessarily be what I specifically like. Always address mistakes with kindness. Everybody makes mistakes, and team members don't want to feel put out when they make a mistake. So tread lightly when it comes to making somebody feel bad about their mistakes, And hey, let them know it happens. We're all human. Cooperation. It's really important when it comes to cooperation for us to learn to accept people as they are. It's not our job to change people. In knowing that, we can really find some common ground with people that we're working together. So you won't always like the people that you're working with, but a lot of times we still get grouped with them, and we need to make sure that we're working for that common purpose. Always take turns and offer suggestions. If you're leading your team, give praise. Even when it's difficult and you find it hard to highlight somebody's accomplishments, do what you can to give some positive reinforcement along the way. Be empathetic. Not everybody's coming from the same background, so we all have different thoughts and feelings, and we want to understand everybody's perspective. Be soft but firm. Again, finding the balance between that passive and aggressive communication, and ensuring that when it comes to sharing our thoughts and feelings, that we're able to get our point across in a kind way without feeling like we're being run over by the people that are in our group. Get along to get along. You are not always going to enjoy working with certain people, but we have to find a way to compromise in order to complete the task. So let's take a look at some scenarios. These are wonderful active movements. So take a moment now to make sure that you have an area that you can stand up and you have about an arm's distance for some physical activity. So scenario number 1. Jenny's on a team for a group project with people that she doesn't really know very well and does not have much in common with. Everyone is really quiet, so they're struggling to come up with ideas and making decisions. The suggestion is that Jenny just follows everyone else's lead and remains quiet. Eventually, someone will do the work. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know by performing the movement. Awesome job! So what did you pick and why? Feel free to pause the video here for discussion. Our next scenario is about conflict resolution. Michael wants to be a vegetarian, and his parents and brothers won't take him seriously. He's talked to them calmly about the many health benefits and environmental benefits of not eating meat. When it's time for dinner, his mom is serving chicken. Again! Michael has had enough. He's tried the nice way, and now he should lose his patience and scream at his parents. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? All right, what did you pick and why? Feel free to pause the video for discussion. Scenario number 3 is all about accepting responsibility. Kayla's the captain of the field hockey team. It's been a really busy week, and she forgot that it was her day to bring snacks before the game. Kayla should blame her parents for not being prepared. Besides, she can't even drive to the store. It's not her fault. Do you agree or disagree? What did you pick and why? Again, feel free to pause the video for discussion. Let's discuss our last scenario of the day, respecting differences. Jaden and his friends enjoy hanging out together, and they all have different cultural backgrounds. At lunch, Miguel is always getting teased for the different types of food he brings from home. Jaden can see that even though the friends are joking, it hurts Miguel's feelings. Jaden should just ignore the problem. Besides, if it really bothers Miguel, he'll probably say something about it. Do you agree or disagree? Final discussion. What did you pick and why? Feel free to pause the video now. So our exit ticket for today is all about applying this to your life. What is one thing that you can do today to improve your role as a teammate? That's it for today's lesson. You are now officially Health Smart. See you next time.